Let's get into some shite. Hi, folks. How are you? I'm a little raspy today. Feeling raspy. I'm not going to start complaining immediately. I'm going to wait a little while. I'll get into that later. How you feeling out there? Here at the end, the closing days of summer. This coming weekend. Let's see. Yeah, it's this coming weekend. Dragon Con here in Atlanta. Have you been to Dragon Con? I went through one time. Pretty amazing. I would probably really like it if I went and did an entire weekend and all this stuff. I've never done it, but I think I would like it. But it was fun seeing everybody in the costumes, and I think I went one evening when they had like one of the big party kind of things. Man, it's huge here in Atlanta. A lot of people do it. I know people who are going to go. Are you going? Be careful. Take care of yourself. Have fun. Just be careful, right? That's the kind of things you say when you get old. Be careful. You kids, be careful out there. There's so many things that you could do to get into trouble and injure yourself and all that kind of stuff. But hey, there's so much more that you can do to not do that. We're coming up here in October. This is like my favorite time of the year. We still got September. I know. You don't have to remind me, but I'm looking forward. My October's already filling up, almost packed. All of my favorite Atlanta stuff happens in October. I'm just going to be doing that, and then I'm going to be doing a storytelling thing in October. Every weekend, I'm going to be telling a story. If I'm hoping that I'm not raspy then like I am now. And I think it's allergies, and we'll have to start taking allergy medicine. I backed off the allergy medicine. Maybe I shouldn't. I should stop backing off, start backing on. Look, I'm glad you people listen. I have a wonky schedule, and I'm trying to get back. So this week I was ready to do a show last week, and it kind of got pushed out of the way. And then it was like Thursday, and I thought I'm going to do a Thursday show. And then something happened I didn't get to, and I thought I'll do a Friday show. And then I started thinking, well, why don't I just wait and do a Monday show? And then I could get back on schedule and do Monday. And so I thought, sure, I'll do that. And then Monday came, and then I had an appointment that came up, and I couldn't do Monday. Daggone it! It's one of my favorite little expressions. Daggone it. So but today's Tuesday. I'm close. It's close to Monday, okay? So next week, let's see if I can hit that target of Monday. Thanks for listening, for checking in and being a part of the show. Thanks to everybody who's sent me little notes and said they were glad to hear the podcast come back. That's fun. And we'll be back for a while. It's just summer. It's like you gotta kind of get used to being back in the swing of things after having summer vacation, right? Everybody's is like that. I'm sure I'm not the only one. I ordered something from Amazon today. Here's what's weird. So we have a hot tub, and we haven't used it. We didn't use it much at all last year, and we didn't really use it this year. I think one of the jets, there was something wrong with a jet, and we had somebody come over and replace the jets, and so it seems to be working pretty good. So we thought, well, we'll use it this year. And I've used it a few times. Love it. Have a good time with it. And then a couple of days ago, I was putting in some chemicals, and oops, I forgot to put the cover back on. See, I don't have kids or grandkids, which is great because you don't have to worry about anybody falling in. Me, maybe I will accidentally fall in. But what happened is it's underneath all of our trees and stuff, and a bunch of crap fell on it and in it. And there were like spiders and bugs and pine needles and dirt and bark and maybe some celebrities fell in there. And how do you get that out? And I realized my little sweepy net thing the little sweepy net that you get things out of a tub or out of a pool is missing. It's gone. I don't know if like a big wind blew it away or what. So I'm out there today and I'm like, I need to clean this out. What am I going to do? I don't have my little sweepy net thing. So I thought, Amazon. I'll get on Amazon and look up and order a sweepy net thing. And I did. I got on there and I looked. I comparison shopped. I found the best sweepy net thing price and I ordered it. It's got to be here today. Can you imagine? Did you know 20 years ago you would just be able to go, I need this? And I'm going to push a button on my phone and it will come to my house. That's Jetson stuff right there. Occasionally people are just like, where's all of the flying cars from the Jetsons? Okay, we don't have that. But we could just want a sweepy net thing and push a button and it's at your house. Holy crap. Now, I would understand if it was like a bag of chips or dog food or something because everybody needs that. How do they have this sweepy net thing in a box somewhere waiting for me to order? How do they know I'm going to need that? There's a gazillion products in the world, but that's right there ready for them to bring to my house within just a few hours. It's the future. The Jetson future is here, people. It's just a matter of time before we get the car. I'm sure of it. Here's a little follow-up from a few months ago. This is I don't know, this is going to come off as complaining. It's not really. It's just, I'm just letting you know what's going on in my life. Going blind. I'm going to go blind. And I haven't even been doing that thing. Maybe I have. I'm going to say, here's the thing. Back last April, a year ago, this past April, a year ago, it's been a year and a few months. Both of the retinas in my eyes detached. I didn't even really know that was a thing. And when I found out it happened, I was like, I'm doomed. I need those, right? And the retinas were kind of like, we're done. We're letting go. Now, here's the thing. I haven't really used my eyes a lot, I don't think, in unusual ways. I just look at stuff. Am I not supposed to be looking? Am I not supposed to be using my eyes that way? I'm not a big time reader. I don't play video games. I watch television, but I don't watch that much television. I don't think I use my eyes more than the average. But why did my retinas decide that they needed to let go? They're not going to play along anymore. So now I don't know how that works. I always thought you needed retinas, and I thought you needed them in the place that they were, but apparently you don't. So, but what happens is I think they're kind of like little plastic bags, little pieces of plastic in your eyes. I think. I'm not a doctor. Don't quote me. Don't put this on your eye test, people. So what I think happens is that I don't know, for whatever reason, they decide to let go, and they're just like, and then they're floating around. That was actual noise from my retinas, by the way. And then now they're floating around in my eyes. So here's what I see. I see floaters. Now, if you don't know what floaters are, everybody knows what floaters are. Floaters looks like pretty much like the stuff in the bottom of your shower. So it's like hair, just pieces of soap, little things. It's really gross and disgusting, but it's in my eyes. And they're floating around, and then the retinas are in there, and the retinas are kind of like when you go shopping and they give you those little plastic bags to bring your groceries. That's like in my eye. I have, if they say like paper or plastic, I have the plastic in my eye. So the entire time I'm looking at anything, I've got this junk floating around in my eye. And then when the plastic bag, which I guess is the retinas, comes into the view, it just looks like this sort of plasticky something that you can't see through. It's just sort of opaque, translucent is, I guess, the word. Where it's like you can see light through it, but you can't really, it's just blurry. Why? I didn't need that. Why do I have that? So I went to the doctor, and they were just like, "Oh, nothing we can do about it. It just happens sometimes when you get old. You just got to get used to it." I'm like, "Really? You can't dump the liquid in my eye out through a filter, like a coffee filter, so just like pour it through and filter it out and then put it back in? There's no way." No, they said there's some kind of procedure that they could do with lasers, that they can go in, I guess, zap them or something. But they said that I don't recommend that. And the thing is, if they're not recommended, why is it even a thing? It's just like, well, we don't recommend it, but we'll do it if you got the money. Why are they having things they don't recommend? I don't know. I don't get it. But apparently it's a thing. You could go somewhere and they'll zap your. I guess we don't recommend that you filter your eye fluid either, but we'll do it. So I wasn't feeling good about that, and but what are you going to do? So I just kind of thought, all right, this is going to be my old age for the rest of my life, right? And then, I guess last month, so this would be like a year and a few months later, I was doing some artwork, and I noticed all of a sudden, and I talked about this on the podcast, I believe, I noticed that I couldn't see. Now, not like black, like it's not like somebody turned the lights out. It's the lights were still on. I could still see lights, but right in the middle of my eye, whatever I was looking at disappeared. It was just like it wasn't there, and I could see around it like a little halo. I could see the image, but right there in the middle, nothing. And that's never happened before. And then there was like little light flashes. It was like a little lightning thing in my. I think that's bad, right? If you're an eye doctor, don't scare me, but let me know. That's really bad. I think it's bad. But so it just started really quick, and then all of this stuff, and I was just like, holy crap, I'm going to go blind. And then I would say 30 minutes later, it's like somebody just flipped a switch, and it went away. Everything was fine. So at that point, I was like, oh, I don't know if that was just a weird fluke or if this is like a new thing. Well, it happened yesterday, so it's a new thing. Holy crap. The exact same thing happened yesterday. Now I know it's going to be a regular thing. I got to go to the doctor. I got to get my eyes done. I'm going to be like Mary Ingalls from Little House on the Prairie. Remember when she went blind all of a sudden? So here's the thing. She went blind, but she met this really hot guy who was also blind, and she was hot. So they were like married, and they were both blind, and they were hot, and they didn't know each other was hot. And then he got his sight back before she did. I don't even think she ever got hers back. So he knew she was hot, but she never knew he was hot, right? That's kind of romantic in old-timey language. So I have my sight. I know I'm hot. I know my wife is hot. I'm going to lose my sight, and I'm going to miss the years when I don't even know if I'll stop being hot. Maybe I will, probably will as I get older. And maybe my wife will. I won't see any of that. I won't see any of you guys getting old. I won't see anything. That's scary. I'm a visual artist, so I'm not going to be able to see any art. I can't do my work anymore. What am I going to do? I'm going to have to switch professions suddenly. What should I do? Sit in a subway, take tokens? I don't know what people do. There are professions I know when you lose your sight, but I don't know what they are in the art world. I got to find those out because I might have to do them. I can't paint anymore. I know. I can't draw. So I'm getting kind of scared about that. I got to go to the doctor. I got to get checked up. I got to see what is going on with my eyes. I still podcast, though, so don't worry about that. I'll still be here doing this. Somebody's going to push the buttons. I don't know how to push the button. I need some Braille buttons, and then I'll be fine. Yesterday, day before, this past weekend, all in a row, this past weekend, I did what I think is the most Gen X thing that I've ever done. I spent the entire day looking for a little CD holder, one of those little portfolio things that you put your CDs in. I went out to the thrift stores all day long looking for one of those. Now, I've been to thrift stores many times, And I see them all the time. So I thought this is going to be no problem at all. I'll just go out. There's like 20 of them and I'll get one. I'll just get the best one. Thrift store number 1 had 0. Thrift store number 2 had 0. Thrift store number 3 had 0. I went everywhere looking for a little CD portfolio. And then I felt stupid. I was like, no one uses CDs anymore, but I thought I could get that. So I had to order it off Amazon, and it didn't get there in the day. It got there the next day. So that's not bad still. But I felt so Gen X. Now, here's, technically I'm not Gen X. Technically, I'm Gen Jones. Do you know what Gen Jones is? I've heard more people use the term Gen Jones, which sounds like somebody you went to school with, but Gen G and Generation Jones, that's my generation. And I just found out that the years for Generation Jones is 1954 to 1965. I didn't realize that gap was that big. But it incorporates like Obama, Kamala Harris, lots and lots of people. Tom Cruise is in that group. All the Brad Packers are in there. Probably a lot of sports people. People my age, old guys. Princess Di, I think, was in there too. Yeah, was. Generation Jones, maybe you are 54 to 65, then that would be your generation. And I like that. See, and I've complained before because I don't like Generation Jones. I think we should be the Zoomers. We should be the Zoomers with an X, Xoomers. That's I decided Zoomers is who we are because we're right in between Generation X and the Boomers, right? Makes sense. We're the Zoomers. But what do they do? No, they gave that. So now Generation Z, Gen Z, has Zoomers and Gen Z. That's not fair. Shouldn't have two. Anyway, that's what I did. I just felt so Gen X looking for anything CD, and I kind of felt stupid too. You could get CDs in a thrift store. I don't know how good they are, but you can. Okay. I'm going to have a little water here. Hold on. I spend a lot of time on the internet watching dog videos. I never thought I was going to be that person. It's a trap. You just kind of gradually get into it. And I started watching. I don't know if I just watched one. I just did it one time. And then next thing I know, it's pop. I got to do it again. And now I do it. I pretty much do it a lot. And I started sending them to other people. I don't even know how I became that person. But so starting out, I just did my dog breed. Everybody's got, I think everybody's got do you have a favorite dog breed? I think everybody's got their favorite dog breed. So I do have a favorite dog breed. I've had a few dogs in my life. I like dogs. Most dogs I like. Don't have a problem with them. But my favorite breed of dog is the Australian Shepherd. I've had a couple of them. Love that personality. Love that dog. I don't know that I could have a life without an Aussie in it. It's just a fantastic dog. So we have two dogs. We have a Southern Blackmouth Cur. If you don't know what that is, look it up. I think they say that Old Yeller. If you ever saw the movie Old Yeller, that's a Blackmouth Cur. So we have that one. He was adopted from a shelter. He's a freaky dog, Lewis. And Keely is my my Australian Shepherd. I got Keely as a puppy, brand new puppy. I've had her for a week, 2 weeks. 2 weeks, she'll be 11 years old. Isn't that cool? And I've raised her since she was a puppy. But I just love that breed. So here's my question to you. I'm not trying to persuade you. You can like any dog that you want. What I would love for you to do, if you would do it, please, is let me know what your favorite dog breed is. Put it on the Facebook page, the Out of Tune Podcast Facebook page. Tell me what your favorite dog breed is and why. That's what I want to just put a message on there. And what I might do, I might put a post on there about it, and then everybody can respond. So that way, it'll kind of collect them, and everybody you can kind of brag on your dog breed. What's your favorite dog breed? I don't know that you could do better than an Aussie, but if you can, convince me, my friends. I love dogs. Pretty much any dog will work for me. I'm really a cat guy, but I love dogs too. I'll do both. I like both. We'll talk about dogs. Tell me your favorite dog breed and why you like them. It'd be helpful. I would love for you to interact if you would. Here's something I've noticed, and it's concerning me. I feel like, one of my dreams, one of my goals, I'm going to do it. It's going to be a goal. One of my goals is to go to Japan, spend a lot of time. I don't want to just go to Japan for a week. I would like to go, really, I would like to go for a year. It's one of those things I should have done when I was young. I should have gone and spent 1 or 2 years there, maybe teaching English, just being there for 2 years. That's what I would have loved to have done. I didn't know it at the time. I mean, at the time, I think I would have liked to have gone there, but now there's a little bit of regret involved that I didn't go. So my wife also wants to go, and we've talked about it. I don't think we'll uproot. I just can't imagine that we'll just move there. We don't have jobs. We don't have a place to live. You can buy houses really cheap there. But I would like to go and stay for a month or two. I don't know how we would do it. I don't know how we would survive, where we would live, how we would pay for things, what we would do with our dogs. I don't know how that would work. But I would like to go. And then there's also a part of me that would just, I'd like to buy an island, like in Scotland or Ireland. I see those on Facebook all the time. It's just like, this island is for sale. You could buy it and live there for the rest of your life. I don't know how you do that, how you live. Some of them have some restaurants on the island. It's a small little place, and it's probably exists for people who are out on ships to kind of dock and sleep, rest, maybe have a meal, whatever. And so, there may be some sketchy people that go there. But it sounds like it's just kind of romantic, right? You just go out there and you can own your own island and have a house there. And I don't know, you got to get a boat. If you need to go to Walmart, you're going to have to get on a boat and go several miles, but or just grow your own food. I don't know. But I've wanted to do that as well. And just in my mind, those kind of things exist. And I have ideas of what they're like. And then occasionally I'll get online and I'll look and I'll see what they actually look like. And then I go, oh, look, there's a Starbucks. There's a Denny's right there. Oh, 7-Eleven. Okay. Not on the island necessarily. But what I'm noticing is, so when I was a kid, and I still am, I love going to malls. That's such an 80s, 70s, 80s person thing, right? I don't think younger people know how much fun that was. It was like going to a carnival in a way. Malls were kind of new back then, and we did it. But here's the weird thing is, like, my grandmother worked in a mall right outside of Fort Lauderdale. That was like one of our destinations for vacation, is just going to that mall and hanging out for days. We would just, every day we'd get up, we'd go and hang out and then come home and do it again. And the thing about the mall at the time was there was not all of the chain stores. So you did have some anchor stores. There was a Sears, there was a Penny's and that kind of stuff. But then you had these little, I guess, independently owned shops and stores. And so you would go there. And then if you go to the next mall, it's completely different. They have all of their little shops and stores. So if you wanted a specific thing from a specific store, you would go to a specific mall. And then somewhere in the 80s, kind of getting into the 90s, these mall geniuses were like, let's make them all look the same. That way, if people want a pair of jeans at the Gap, they could go to the Gap anywhere at any of the malls. So now, if you put a blindfold on and someone put you in a car and drove you somewhere to a mall that exists, obviously, and then you got out and you went it, you probably wouldn't know what the mall was because they all look the same. They're pretty much the same exact mall, the same stores, same stuff. And because of that, I think that's what killed malls. I think that's why malls don't even exist anymore. People just like, okay, whatever. It's not exciting. All we need is one of them. We don't need 3 or 4 in a city. We got the same stores. Let's just do one. How about that? And then, just regionally, they just started going out of fashion, going out of favor. But I think that's what's happening culturally, right? I think cultures are doing that. Used to, when you thought of Japan, you thought of London, you thought of Bombay, I guess. You have these images of what architecture and commerce look like and what the experience is like. And probably to a certain extent, it's kind of still that way. But you're still, like when I get on YouTube and I look at videos of Japan, I see so many things that I see here in Atlanta, this exact same stores. Things are starting to look the same way. And I'm wondering if we're going to do the exact same thing with culture as we did with the malls. It's just, people are going to be like, I don't know, why do I want to get on a plane and fly to Australia when I could go downtown? It looks the same. It's the exact same thing. Same stores. I don't know. It's not a cool thing to me. I hope we don't do that. But it sure looks like we're headed that way. I saw it happening in the malls. You start, oh wow, they have one of these stores too. Okay. Oh look, the food court, Chick-fil-A. Yeah, same thing. Okay. Tokyo Express. Oh, that's in the same mall at home. And then next thing you know, the malls look exactly the same, and it's going to be, we're going to do it. We're going to do the same thing. Japan is going to look like downtown Nashville. Don't you think? That's going to not be exciting anymore. We're killing our culture. I don't know. Is it capitalism that's killing culture? It's not cool. I think there's creative ways we could be. To me, it's laziness. It's not capitalism. It's just being lazy. And a little bit greedy too. Just, one I'm not picking on Starbucks, but just Starbucks saying we want to be in every single mall. We want all of the money. Put us in the mall. And then, I can see if the mall management, they could get a special deal if they could get more and more in the malls. So it works for everybody. But it's kind of lazy. And it's not exciting. I hope we rethink it. I don't really want to go that way anymore. No one calls me and asks me my opinion. Dang it. All right, people, listen. In the beginning of the 19th century, there was no way, like airplanes were just kind of starting to be big. And there was no way to jump out of an airplane. You couldn't ditch a plane. If the plane was going down, you were in trouble. You were screwed. There was no way to get out of it. No, that hadn't been invented yet. Well, there was an Austrian-Hungarian tailor named Franz Reichelt. And Franz wanted, so he invented a suit, all right? And he believed this suit could serve as a parachute. So if you wearing the suit and your plane got in trouble, you could jump out with this suit. So that's something a tailor would think of, right? So Franz wanted to market this, but of course he had to test it before he marketed it. So Franz would put the suit on these dummies, and then he would throw them out the window of his 5th floor apartment. And they would just... None of them opened up. So Franz thought, well, okay, here's the deal. I need more height. We're talking an airplane. They're way up there, higher than a 5th floor apartment. So I need some height. So Franz got the idea of testing his suit on the Eiffel Tower. He lived in Paris at the time. He thought that's a good thing. So he applied to the authorities and said, I want to test my little invention. They said, sure, Franz, go ahead. We'd love that. We think that's a really good idea. Sure, here's your authorization to do that. And Franz said, thank you. Oh, but by the way, I kind of want to be wearing the suit. I'd like to be the one to do it because I want to pull the cord. No, Franz, no. So they quickly denied his application, pulled it back. They said, we're not going to allow that, Franz. I'm sorry. So Franz decided, you know what, I'm just going to do it anyway. I'm not going to ask them. I'm going to just climb up there and I'm going to jump. And I'm not even going to tell them that I'm going to do it. So Franz puts on his special new parachute outfit, parachute suit, parasuit. Maybe that should have been the name of it. Goes up into the Eiffel Tower. I don't know. It gets on the platform up there. And before the authorities could stop him, Franz Reichelt jumped off of the platform of the Eiffel Tower and plummeted 187 feet to his death. You know, sometimes you just got to do what you believe in, even if it doesn't work. Remember that.